So when we closed last week, when the governor closed us last week, I made a point that you're gonna hear from me. I know you're on furlough. You don't have to, but we're going to continue our group meet. That's one of our communications, and Zoom meetings. And we just had our first one yesterday. And I'm proud to say all 35 of them showed up, and I can't make them when they're furloughed. And we really, really embrace being together as much as we can be together on the Zoom.
Welcome to the Hairpreneur Show, the show that teaches you, the hair pro, how to work smarter so you can make more, work less, and live a purpose-driven life on your schedule, not your clients'. I'm your host, Ryan Whedon, and each week I'll teach you awesome, actionable ways to tap into your personal greatness. Through marketing, mindset, and confidence training, it's time to unlock the next level of you. Let's grow. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hairpreneur Show. I am your host, Ryan Whedon. I'm always excited to be here, and I'm extremely excited to be here again with you today. My guest is somebody that I absolutely adore. She is one of my favorite people to see in the world. She is a shining light in our industry. Her name is Gayle Fulbright. She is just an incredible human being, and I can't say that enough. She's always happy. She's always positive. She's just such a strong leader, no matter what we are facing in the world, in our industry, with her salon through some very troubling times, which we've all faced in 2020. She owns a salon called Headlines the Salon. She's owned it for 33 years. It's one of the top salons in the country, and it's been one of the top salons in the country for, 40 years. No, I'm kidding. For a long time, just because she's put so much love into it. And it's just incredible what she's accomplished. I want to just stop talking and welcome Gayle to the Hairpreneur Show.
Yay. Thank you, Ryan.
Yay.
I am so excited to do this because not only are we friends, and we've actually been salon owners in the same county here in San Diego, but you once or twice have been in my salon, and it's always like having a celebrity come get his haircut. I get excited, and my team runs around, Ryan Whedon's here, and I'm going, yeah. So we do go way back, and I really respect you, but I consider you a friend.
Thank you very much, Gayle. And I've been to your salon several times. I love it. The reason I'm wearing a hat today is because we're closed and I can't go to your salon right now because my hair needs some loving.
It does. Hey, can I do another little brag out about you right now?
Okay, sure.
One of my favorite things that will always stick with me is when we had closure number 2. We've had 3 here in California so far, hopefully the last one. But when we had closure number 2, we had a cookie drive, and our cookie drive was to raise money for our stylist who really needed money during the closure. And you came up here and dropped $100 bill for a couple cookies. And that meant the world to me. Not that it was $100, but you took the time to support other hairdressers. And that just shows your character. I'll never forget that.
Thank you very much. And I just knew they were going to be that good, the cookies too. They were $100 cookies.
We're doing another one. We're doing a Christmas cookie drive and this might be timely or might not by the time this airs, but we're doing a Christmas cookie drive next, and even got some dogs involved. And we're going to just, again, whatever money we raise, Headlines, David and I match that for the stylists that are out.
That's incredible. I will definitely be there. You let me know and I will be there. And if I can bring a little one in tow with me, I will.
Perfect.
Well, okay. So you say this is the 3rd shutdown in California, which of course it is. And I had a salon too, and I ended up closing my doors at the beginning of the 2nd shutdown because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I had a much smaller salon, and thankfully it wasn't my sole form of income. I have my online training and Masters of Balayage. So the decision was easier for me to just say goodbye and close that chapter in my life. But for you, this is your baby. You have had your salon for such a long time. You have a huge staff, and I know you've probably faced some very hard choices. Can you tell me about how this year has been weighing on you?
This year has been just, we'll never have another one like it. Knock on wood, I hope. The first time it came around, we all panicked and we were interested in getting loans, and we're getting SBA, and we're getting PPP and all that stuff. And the focus was basically, let's all survive as an industry. We were closed for 127 days. That we opened up for 5 weeks, closed again, another 7 weeks. Then we opened up and we thought we were done with all of this. The governor put us essential and then he took it away again. So being closed the third time, to answer your question, how I feel like a roller coaster. This time is a lot harder because it's the holidays. And as anyone that knows this industry and lives in it, this is when we all get real. People get their hair done even when they don't need it because Santa Claus is coming to town. It's balayage and highlights and tinsel in the hair, whatever. I'm just kidding. But it's really hard because I have single moms that really were banking on this time of year to make up for the losses. So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. There's a lot of silver linings that have come through, made some great salon owner friends. Our friend Sherry from Belsarin and a few others, we get together Zooming all the time to share stories. And so that's a silver lining. The other is how much loyalty we really have with our people, our clients. They love us. And during the openings that we did have, I found we were their therapist. We were their therapy, and every single one sat down with their own COVID story. They wanted to share what they've been doing and what's going on. Not all of them sad, but they just needed to vent because we were their only time out of the house. That's how much trust people have, our clients, everyone's clients have in the hairdresser. That I don't have to go into how safe we are. We all know that, but how comfortable they felt that they could leave the house and come in and share their stories. And that's a silver lining. It truly is. It's a blessing to have that kind of trust.
What have you done over the years to make that clientele so loyal to Headlines, the salon?
I think one, still being here.
Right.
And to be here this long came with a lot of failures and lessons from failures. And knowing that every time you make a mistake, you just get to grow and be better from it. And I think over the test of time, part of what that loyalty is that we're still experiencing from our clients came from them seeing us be humble and be real and to just keep adapting and changing what's been going on in our industry for the last 3 decades.
And you say you went through a lot of failures. One way I look at failures, thanks to one of my mentors, Brendan Burchard, he calls them data points. So that we look at failure is not really a failure. It's just, okay, like you had said, we learn from our failures and we gather data from what's not working. And then we use that data to help us not have to have that particular thing happen again so we can push it toward success. What were some of these failures that you mentioned when you're talking about failures? Just curious, because on the customer experience side of it, a failure, what does that look like? You spill coffee on somebody?
Failures are mistakes that you may have made bad judgment, but you take a failure and you shift. And I love Brendan too. Failures, I think, are walkouts. And I never blame the people leaving me. I blame the leadership who led them to do something like that. So when I look back we've had walkouts, when I had my first location, we had 12 chairs and 8 people leave at once. To me, that's kind of a failure. It's like, wow, shift. And from that, I learned that I wasn't an empathetic leader. I wasn't there for them. I took them for granted. And so with that, I adapted to being a different, more compassionate leader. So no mistakes, only lessons on that one. Mm-hmm. Sometimes failures are just weird decisions you make with your business that cost money. And you go, okay, let's just not do that one again. And I have my lease renewal, my 10 years is up, and a lot of big decisions considering the nature of our world right now. Do we jump in and do another 10 years? Do we maybe think of other alternatives like you have? You've taken and did a magnificent shift. You're giving to this industry in a different way with a different audience, but you're still giving back, and you have to stop and shift sometimes and go, am I still doing this for the right reason? And so I think I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hang in here a few more years.
Is there like a 5-year renewal option instead?
They always want to go big with the 10.
Give you a better discount. But yeah, I know that's a big decision to make, especially with everything going on. Of course, there is and seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, which is what we can really grasp onto now. Like, okay, there is a vaccine. It looks like it's working, or hopefully it's going to work. And then there might be some normalcy in the next several months where we can hopefully get back to a sense of freedom again, where we can actually go outside without a mask. That just is so exciting.
It is exciting. And you know what? We're going to have an extraordinary 2021. It's going to boom. And I don't just mean our beauty industry. I really have high hopes. I'm an optimist that everything's just we're going to be ready. We're going to be, I don't know about you, but I am ready to travel. And, like yourself, being an educator, I was an educator once for a product line. I loved traveling. Sometimes I didn't like the hotel rooms alone, but I loved the idea that I got to experience different places and meet different people in our industry. And I just can't wait to get back on the road, even if it's personal. Italy looks really good right now.
It really does. Anywhere outside of my house looks really good right now.
Really. I know it is crazy. It's like, wow, maybe we'll go down the beach. Wow, isn't it? We look at things a little differently, don't we?
Mm-hmm. It's almost like you find a new gratefulness for being able to just be human.
Yeah.
I learned that after the first quarantine, I think, where when everything's shut down and slowed down considerably, I realized I didn't have as many responsibilities as I used to put on my plate. And a lot of those responsibilities were manufactured with just me trying to do too much. And then I realized I didn't need to do all that. And I had more time to focus on my family and myself. And hey, I'm going to start working out again. And I'm going to start taking care of myself again and spend more time with my family. And then I realized that was where I found more love and passion for my life. And of course, I love what I do, but I became more prioritized in my focus of things that I really wanted to do and was grateful for everything that I was kind of taken for granted.
The simple things,
mm-hmm.
All those things, and family first. And I don't have to preach that to you. I have a beautiful family, and we were forced to have more time with them, and I hate to use the word forced. We have the ability and the pleasure of having that time with them, and to take advantage of that, is what this whole thing did for us, I believe.
How do you show up for your staff during this time? Because I can only imagine knowing what hairdressers on average make. And I'm sure they do well at your salon because you have a great reputation. You always have clients coming in the door. But I'm sure there's still some that are paycheck to paycheck and scrambling to get by, especially this is the so-called busy season and it's just not this year. How do you show up for them? What are you doing to be a leader and be a support figure for them?
Right now, we've had 3 times at this. So third time's a charm.
You're getting pretty good.
So when we closed last week, when the governor closed us last week, I made a point that you guys you're going to hear from me. I know you're on furlough. You don't have to, but we're going to continue our group meet. That's one of our communications, and Zoom meetings. And we just had our first one yesterday. And I'm proud to say all 35 of them showed up, and I can't make them when they're furloughed. And we really, really embrace being together as much as we can be together on the Zoom. And I sent out a little survey with them the day before, asking them some questions, because I don't know about your other listeners, but you could throw out questions to the team and I go, what do you guys think of that? Crickets. I had Alexis Thurston on as a guest speaker at one of our first shutdowns. And she was talking away and she said, well, what do you guys think? And no one answered. And I was like, oh. And she calls me later. She goes, did I do okay? I go, they're afraid to talk. They're hairdressers and they're afraid to talk. Go figure. So they're getting better with the Zoom. And I really feel we have to stay connected as much as we can during the, even though we're not connected. And they're liking that. We're also we have a nice patio out front, and we had a little get together, so to speak. And I was able to give them their holiday gifts. And those that didn't feel like coming in a large gathering, they're trickling in so I can see their faces. But I really believe staying in as close contact as possible is the best.
What are some of your decisions in keeping your salon open, signing that lease again? Because I know there's probably a lot of salon owners that are facing that challenge where, wow, should I start to pivot now? Should I continue my lease? Should I open a salon? There are people that are considering probably opening a salon still. What advice could you give to somebody that is facing those challenges? Like, is a physical space still a good idea?
Yeah, it is strange times. My true answer is follow your gut. And if you can be peaceful with yourself, take your time to meditate, stop, get off the carousel, and really, really listen to what you want and who you are and what you have to give, the answer will come out of that. And there's no judgment on what you want to do. When I've asked myself that, I've really, really done a lot of soul searching, and it's being a salon owner is not easy. And I prefer salon leader. But it's also the most fulfilling thing that we could do. So brick and mortar is tough, but other than George Clooney with a Flowbee, you can't replace a hairdresser online, so they still need us physically and really need us mentally. And if you really have the finances, do it, keep doing it, because we're necessary. We are essential. So my advice is follow your gut. My long answer. Sorry.
No, that's great. And I know that you've also seen other stylists coming to you because other salons in the area have shut down. And you've actually, is it making the future of your business look even better once this is all free and clear?
Yeah. Unfortunately, with a lot of salons closing down, I think I'm up to 6 in a 10-mile radius. And we're talking large salons, you know that. Yes, the silver lining is some great talent came here and they were looking for leadership. So you have to step up to the plate. But this group really wants to work and they really want to be a part of a team and a part of something that they connect with. We're able to work. It was flowing really well. One thing that I did differently than I haven't done before was I really embraced Yelp. And a lot of salon owners hate Yelp. I've spoken at the digital summit for Salon Today Modern Magazine, where people don't embrace that. But I found when we came back into business after the second closure, a lot of people were looking for a new home to have their hair done because we had a surge of over 300 new clients. Went ahead and talked to my Yelp guy and I said, okay, for a change, I'm just going to go with this. And for the first time, paid for the Yelp clicks. And, that's advice I would give to someone that's doing it. Like I said, if you can't beat them, join them with Yelp, but you have to manage it. So we were able to fill the seats with these new stylists that came around with all these people looking for a new home.
That's incredible. That's one of my stories too with Yelp is I used Yelp to my advantage. I really focused on growing my reputation and Yelp was putting my marketing and my clients coming in on autopilot. It was just so important to my growth in the area. And I became one of the highest ranked salons and the highest ranked salon in La Jolla and in a lot of San Diego in a matter of months because I treated it like a sales job. Like I would reach out to my clients, I would bug them, kindly poke them and say, would you mind giving me a positive recommendation? And I actually had a ticker sheet and I would say like, tried here at this date, tried this date, tried this date. And sometimes I would try 9 or 10 times with these clients over the course of a year until they felt so guilty that they forgot. And like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I wanted to, I've been wanting to, but they're happy clients. So they're not rushing to Yelp, but then they finally do it. And then like, you just start to overtake all of these other salons that have been in business for years and years that just never really looked at it like a sales game. And people go to Yelp to look for new services. So if you're focused on that, it works.
No, it does. And I do. I sometimes go to Yelp to get a quick phone number because you can just click and go. But Yelp, for us is Yelp and Google. I'm going to give Google some credit there too. People will go to that social review and then they go a little deeper. They'll call in and they'll say, so who do you recommend? Well, I recommend Christy. They'll hang up, go to Christy's Instagram. After Christy's Instagram, they'll go to our website. They'll look at our website. So it all has to kind of work in a synergy. And back to asking for reviews, I always tell my stylist that if your client is going, oh my God, I love it. I look great. Say, do you want to do a shout out for me? And they're always willing to do it. It's not cheating on Yelp at all to just tell them to shout out somewhere else. So it has been great. And it's been an extra great tool for 2020.
Right. That's a great thing that you could be focusing on when you're not working. You got a lot of time to, sure, stew about all the terrible things, or you could actually focus on what can I still do to keep my business moving forward.
Which is take classes like what you're offering. And this is a great opportunity when you're shut down to take all these online classes. And you guys are getting really good at it. Can I tell you?
Thanks.
It makes it almost like we don't need it in person. No, just kidding.
Well, it's just like, you can't cut hair online unless you're using a Flowbee, right? You still need a hairdresser and you still need to have those live classes to really get that hands-on touch. But in the interim and for quick education, yes.
And that's what I told them during the third shutdown meeting is use this time, up your game with your social media. If you don't know, if you're afraid of doing a TikTok, if you're afraid of learn reels, this is a good time to practice it. You've got hours.
Exactly.
So, and I'm hopefully that's what they're doing with their time instead of just complaining and looking at the negativity of it.
And how are you keeping your guests informed on everything that's happening? How are you keeping them excited and letting them know what's happening?
Good question. My front desk people up front calling them as we speak. We stay in touch with them and just ask them how they're doing, let them know what's going on. A lot of emails, a lot of e-blasts. We're really up in our game with our private store on our website, and it's actually working because I get notified every time somebody buys something on my phone. Not that it's annoying that I see ching ching happen, but we're doing pretty much daily blasts of specials because as everyone does this time of year, we stock up on a lot of special holiday gifts. So we're calling, letting people know about that. And having 35 employees, I feel a little army out there with them all doing the social media. So on GroupMe, we'll post whatever today's special is, 4 blowouts for $160 and encourage them all to put it onto their Instagram also. So not just trying to sell clients, but staying in touch with them with the phone calls. I think they really appreciate it. Sometimes it takes a long time to get them off the phone because they want to talk to you all about what's going on in their life. But I think it's time well spent just to stay connected.
Right. You're a therapist. They miss that interaction.
I captured that, by the way.
Did you really? That's great.
A long time ago, I am a hairpist.
Uh-huh.
I work on the interior, not just the exterior of that head.
You need to, because it's funny because I'm sure you know people that have gone to a hairdresser for years and years and years, and they might even say they don't give you the best haircut or the best color, but they just love the person so much they're not going to stop going to them because you've had that internal connection.
Exactly. They'd come in and they go, was that supposed to be an asymmetric bob last time?
Right.
No. Oh, that's okay. Just fix it up. And did you know what happened since last time I saw you? It's like, boom. You
just say, no, your hair grows faster on that side. Oh, okay.
No, you're like this. Did anyone else notice? No, it's just shorter over here.
So what are you doing for the holidays as far as getting ready for the future? I know it's just, there's so much unknown. It's hard to really even know what to talk about, but I know somebody like you're probably a big goal setter. You have different metrics for which you focus on to be successful in the salon and make sure you're always moving forward. What are you looking toward?
Well, this time coming back, instead of focusing on retail and the usual metrics, because we meet with our team one-on-one at least once a month, retention. And if we, like we were just talking about with Yelp, if we're going to get these new clients in, what is it that we can do to retain them? And I don't just mean pre-book them at the front desk when they're leaving. What can you do to make it so special that one visit, they just have to book more? And so we're actually role playing a little bit on conversations, your listening skills, and just that accountability of being human to human with them. But retention is huge, and it will be when we go back too, is to just let them know that we want them to keep coming back. I already mentioned that I'm thinking about either staying here 10 more years or maybe a new location. That takes a lot of energy. I have to make that decision by January 31st. But I think really focusing on the team that we have right now and keeping them together, cohesive. And we're one of those unicorns in our industry. We're a commission salon. Call us whatever you want. But that's our point of difference and our point of difference in a good way, I guess. But you got to work it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, when you say that you're a unicorn because you're a commissioned salon, have the things changed so much in the salon world that is it just more of a hybrid model now that people have, or is it mostly booth rental? Because I thought there were still a lot of commissioned salons.
Not many. And
Really?
my little group, with including Sherry from Belle Serene and the girls at Style Lounge and stuff, we're still doing the employee base. But I really believe we're like maybe a 10% of our industry here in Southern California. I'm not saying around the country, and the hybrid model, I'm not even opposed to even looking into that for the future. It might be, back in the day, I would always say that their hairdressers are on the 3 to 5 year program. About 5 years, they start getting busy and good and confident, cocky, whatever. And they're, I can do this on my own. Peace out. Thank you. Sometimes leave without a thank you. Last year, we lost 7 people near the end of the year to go to solas, and it's their choice. But one of them was only in here for 11 months and thought that going on her own was a time, which it made me stop and think, wow, the industry is shifting a little bit. That because of Instagram, social media, they can build their clientele up a lot quicker, learning how to do great balayage. They don't have to fill their books they don't need 60 clients anymore. They only need to have so many because they're longer appointments. So I do see a shift in our industry a little.
I wonder if that's actually working out for those people that break away so quickly, because I worked in a salon suite for maybe 2.5 years or so. And although I loved it, it's like you have to find ways to stay motivated because you don't have team members that you can be inspired by. You don't have a salon leader. It's like, it's all up to you. If there's a problem, it's up to you. It's a real taste of, I'm on my own.
Yeah. And if you don't have that color because a client comes in and wants a total, you're like, you need to let me know in advance.
That happened to me when I first started booth renting, and I was pretty broke. I could afford my chair, and I was making enough to start working on my own, but I couldn't afford a full color line. So I must have had like 40 colors or something like that. And most of those were naturals. I didn't have any of the
5 in, 6 in,
the reds or, yeah, exactly. So somebody came in, and it happened a couple of times where I'm just like, can't do that color. I don't have that color. Can we reschedule? Thankfully it worked out, and she wanted to get it done because I had a good reputation, and I'd go to the store and get something and come back and do it. But I'm like, I just don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. There are pros and cons. I did have, after we had the people leave, I had 4 that did come from suites that were like, I'm done. I miss being around people. And one actually came saying, I used to educate way back in the day. I miss the opportunity of having babies, having young talent. They're always wanting to learn from me. And she basically came here and asked if she could be my educator. I was like, wow, that's a dream come true. So it's an interesting time that we're in right now in the hair business. And my big fear was with all these shutdowns that I didn't want too many people get too used to being on their own, thinking that this is what my life is supposed to be. And I know when they came back after the second one, they were really happy to be together, as together as we could.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a real tough time for our emotional states and our mental states, because I just feel for somebody that might be trapped in a small apartment, that might not have a boyfriend, girlfriend, spouse, animal. I've been there in my life, and I was really depressed at those times where I couldn't afford to go out and do things. And if this had happened to me at that age, man, I don't know what I would be doing right now. I would just probably be in a drunken stupor trying to get through every single day.
You did say alcoholism is going.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's 5 o'clock,
It's getting earlier and earlier. Yeah.
But David, is it 5 yet? He goes 3:30. Go sold.
Yeah, it's 5 somewhere.
5 somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie. There have been some days I've woken up when I've been on the lower side, and I'm like, yeah, it's 11. It's a Wednesday. It's fine. I got everything done. I'm gonna start drinking.
Exactly.
So, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned over your years as a salon owner? This is kind of a shift. I know. Like,
Yeah, that's okay. I think surround yourself with like-minded people or people smarter than you. There's so many people out there that we can learn from. Like you mentioned, Brendan Burchard, and get them on your board of directors is what I call it. Surround yourself around people that can inspire you, or like I did with my little San Diego group, we're like-minded and one has strengths in one area, one has this, and like to help with that loneliness. You're not alone. We're all out there trying to navigate uncharted waters. And so find yourself a group or a mentor, whether that's a book mentor or someone on video these days, because you can't really go to classes anymore.
mm-hmm.
I think the other lesson is take time to be alone with yourself and to be okay with that, because a lot of answers are in there and we just need to stop. My daily routine now is to go downstairs on the couch with my dog, do a little bit of meditating, pick up a book. Right now I'm reading Super Attractor and really find a lot of joy with that. And then plot out the day. Like you were saying earlier, I didn't take the time to do that before. And I think if I were to talk to a young salon owner, I'd say, really take time to find out what you really want, because you can't give it away if you don't know what you really have. And people look up to us as leaders, salon owners, to guide them. You got to have yourself together and just be fearless. I think we spoke about it already. There are no mistakes. There's lessons. Just go out there and do something. Look what you did. You made a huge shift right in the time when you taking care of a young family, and God bless you. Did it.
It's not an easy time right now with the lack of sleep and everything like that. And, I keep having to give as much credit to my wife as possible, because she's the stay-at-home mom and she's still the creative director for Masters of Balayage and makes everything pretty.
She's worth every...
She's the rock star.
You pay her. Even if you don't pay her more.
Definitely. I get all the credit because everybody sees my face, but she's huge. She's huge with everything like that, and such a great supporter, and wouldn't be possible without her. So
shout out to Jenny. Yeah.
You're doing an amazing job wherever you are.
I got to do a shout out. My partner, David, knows this industry. And for the last 10 years, we really work off each other. And he does a lot of the marketing and signage. He hates when I say that, but keeps us looking good too. And everybody's like, you have such a great looking brand. I go, yeah, I do nothing with that.
Oh, is he the one responsible for all of that?
Yeah, he does
that's amazing.
All the logo, branding, marketing, everything that we have. I think his latest one is we have hand sanitizers with our logo on it. I'm going, that's a great idea.
That's so cool.
Hand sanitizers. The thing is, surround yourself with people smarter than you. I don't do our Instagram. Matter of fact, if I did, we wouldn't be very good. I'm too old. I'm a born again millennial. I'm not a millennial. I have great people, Alex Walls, that manages that. I've got mainly Summer that helps with the great content. So we're lucky to have people that can do other things for us.
Well, everything you're doing, keep doing it, because you're creating such an impact in our industry and for the lives of everybody that not only comes into your salon, but works in your salon. And I feel that whenever I step inside. And I hope to do that again very, very soon, because damn, I need a haircut.
Rock a new look. Mullets are coming back. Everybody's throwing it out.
What about neck hair? Is that a thing? Because I gotta, it's popping out.
You got to train Jenny one more thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Gayle, for being here today and being part of the Hairpreneur Show. How can people find out more about you and more about your salon?
Well, I prefer people to find out more about Headlines than me, because Headlines is a lot greater. So Headlines the Salon, Encinitas, California. Follow us on our Instagram. It's just simple as that, Headlines the Salon. Check out our Yelp. If you want to learn a little bit more about Yelp, I take pride in managing that when it's turned back on. Right now I have it on slow because we're closed. But Gayle Fulbright, and I really want to say thank you, Ryan, for giving me this opportunity. It's fun to chat. As always, you and I, can't shut up when you come in. You don't get to have that relaxing experience. I'm in your face while you're having your haircut.
Oh, it's very relaxing. I love it. And Sean, I have shout out to him. He does an amazing job on my hair, and he gives me a facial massage, which of course I haven't been able to do since the COVID thing, but it was just like so cool.
He's a rock star, Sean. Sean Danielson. We'll give him a shout out.
Cool. Do you know what his Instagram is?
I think it's Sean_Danielson.
Cool. So give him a follow because he's rad.
Go to our website and check it out. You can see everybody.
Okay.
Actually, we just redid the website because we have time.
Yeah. And now is the time for doing things like that. Be working on your business when you can't be working in your business.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Ryan. This was fun.
You got it, Gayle. I wish the best for you, your Headlines family. I love hearing from you. And by the way, have you subscribed to the podcast yet? Oh my gosh, if you haven't, please do so right now because there's so much cool stuff ahead. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because it would be much cooler if you did. Plus, I don't want you to miss any of the new episodes I'm dropping weekly. Last thing, if you haven't checked out ryanweeden.com yet, there are some great freebies on there that I want to give you. So go ahead and check it out, ryanweeden.com. Thank you so much for listening. You are awesome.